You know, it is, it's a funny thing about human nature.
Oh, isn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, like you can put two perfectly reasonable people in a room, give them the exact same set of facts, and just watch them arrive at two completely opposite, fiercely defended conclusions.
Right.
It's like looking at a rainstorm, One person curses the mud and the other praises the harvest.
That's a great way to put it.
But what happens when both people are right, and yet somehow both people are entirely wrong?
Now that is the real puzzle.
Right. And better yet, what happens if the argument you're having right now, like that stubborn, exhausting debate you just cannot seem to win, is an argument you have already had 1,000 times before?
Wow.
1,000 different lifetimes, simply because you forgot the answer.
It's a sobering thought. We like to think of our debates as these unique, purely rational events.
Oh, totally. We think we're being so logical.
Exactly. But often, they're just ancient patterns of blind spots colliding all over again.
And untangling those ancient blind spots is exactly what we are going to do today. So, welcome to a very special deep dive crafted exclusively for the Simplified Awakening YouTube channel.
It's great to be here.
And if you are joining us here, it means you are a learner. You are someone seeking that deeper understanding of the world without getting lost in the noise.
Absolutely.
So before we jump into today's incredible story, I want to humbly ask that you take just a second to subscribe to the channel.
Yes, please do.
And please like this video and share your valuable comments down below. Your support is the foundation that allows us to keep bringing you these profound insights.
It really does make explorations like this possible.
So for you, the listener, our fellow seeker, the mission today is to focus exclusively on one single narrative from the ancient Buddhist text known as the Jataka.
The Jataka, yes.
Specifically, we are looking at the Maluta Jataka, which is story number 17.
That's a really good one.
It is. We are going to explore how an ancient fable about a petty argument over the weather holds a massive paradigm-shifting lesson for how we resolve conflicts today.
The Jataka is such a remarkable collection. Originally written in Pali, it details the previous incarnations of the Buddha.
Right.
But what makes these stories so enduring isn't just the folklore. It is the structure.
Yeah.
They operate as diagnostic tools for the human condition.
I love that framing, a diagnostic tool. Let's look at how that tool is actually built.
Sure.
Because these tales, they always follow a specific formula, starting with a story of the present.
Right, the setup.
Yeah, usually it's some sort of misunderstanding among the followers of the Buddha that acts as a trigger.
And that present dilemma serves as the doorway.
Right.
It proves that human nature hasn't really changed, which sets the stage for the ancient wisdom.
Exactly. So our story of the present begins with two monks, two brethren, who join the brotherhood in their old age. And they are living in a forest dwelling in the Kosala country. One is named the Elder Dark, and the other is named the Elder Light.
A bit on the nose, but it works.
Yeah, very clear symbolism there. And they are locked in a deeply stubborn argument about something that should be entirely observable, the weather.
And this is where the psychology gets so interesting, because they are entirely stuck.
Right. So one day, Elder Light asks Elder Dark, "Sir, at what time does what is called cold appear?"
Okay.
And Elder Dark replies, "It appears in the dark half of the month."
Makes sense for him.
Right. But then on another day, Elder Dark asks Elder Light the exact same question, and Elder Light says, "It appears in the light half of the month."
Oh, wow. So you have two men living in the same forest, experiencing the exact same weather.
Yes.
Completely unable to agree on when the cold actually happens.
Okay, let's unpack this, because on the surface, this sounds ridiculous.
It really does.
You have two older men who are supposed to be enlightened seekers living a monastic life, just bickering over the calendar. Why on earth do they get so bogged down in this specific binary?
Well, it is the ultimate trap of mistaking correlation for causation.
Huh.
Elder Dark happens to feel cold during the dark half of the month. So his brain decides the dark half literally causes the cold.
Right, he makes that leap.
And Elder Light feels it during the light half, so he assumes the light half causes it. What's fascinating here is why the human ego prefers this kind of binary thinking.
Oh, this is a great point. Why do we do that? Like, why jump to the binary?
Because a binary gives the illusion of control.
Okay.
If it is just the moon phase causing the cold, and I understand the moon phase, well, I feel safe. I understand my environment.
Oh, I see. It's comforting.
Exactly. Furthermore, a binary creates a clear winner and loser. It is so much easier for the ego to attack another person's framework.
Like saying, "You are wrong, light is right."
Yes, it's way easier to do that than it is to grapple with an invisible, chaotic reality. They just take their localized subjective experience and declare it to be universal law.
And we do this constantly today. I mean, think about any modern polarized debate.
Oh, everywhere.
Two sides look at the exact same economic shift or cultural trend. One side blames policy A, the other side blames policy B.
Right, the light half and the dark half.
Exactly. They are so trapped in the symptoms of their experience that they cannot see the root cause. But because they can't solve this, the two monks realize they need outside help.
They need a mediator.
Right. So they leave their forest dwelling and travel to Jetavana to ask the Buddha himself.
They are essentially stepping outside of their localized gridlock to seek an absolute objective truth.
Yeah. They ask the master, "Sir, at what time does what is called cold appear?" And he doesn't give them a meteorological answer.
No, he doesn't.
Instead, he drops a completely stunning revelation. He says, "Brethren, in bygone days also, I answered for you this same question. But your previous existences have become confused in your minds."
See, this completely shifts the scale of the narrative.
It really does.
It goes from a petty disagreement between roommates to a cosmic echoing pattern.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because I want to dig into that specific phrase, confused in your minds.
Yes, let's look at that.
The text includes a fascinating footnote about the Pali term used here, babasa kepagatata. What exactly is going on mechanically when the Buddha says their existences are confused?
So, Bhavasakpagatata essentially translates to the fog of rebirth.
The fog of rebirth.
Right. The Buddhist text explains that for ordinary beings, as we pass from one life to the next, the specific memories and contexts of our past lives compress and blur.
So they don't remember being there before.
Exactly. They get jumbled together into an amnesiac fog. We carry the karma and perhaps the underlying emotional tendencies, but we lose the specific data. We just forget the lessons we have already learned.
You know, thinking about how that works mechanically, is it sort of like clearing your browser cache?
Oh, that's a good analogy.
Like your computer still has to run the exact same heavy emotional programs, but because it lost all the saved cookies and login data, you have to painfully re-download and relearn every single step all over again.
That is a brilliant way to conceptualize it. Your emotional hard drive is wiped, so you are forced to re-experience the same glitches.
Man, that sounds exhausting.
It is, and the tragic comedy of it is that we treat every single argument as if it's this unprecedented urgent crisis. Meanwhile, we're just stuck on a skipping record.
But the Buddha is exempt from this cache clearing.
Exactly. The Buddha possesses the power to remember the entirety of all past existences with perfect clarity.
He sees the whole picture.
He sees the underlying code.
Yeah.
He doesn't just see two old men arguing. He sees a conflict they've been trapped in for lifetimes.
Wow. So they weren't just arguing about the weather, they were repeating a literal karmic glitch.
Precisely.
And to fix that glitch, the Buddha has to pull them out of the present and show them the past. He transitions into the fable of the Maluta Jataka.
The story within the story.
Yeah. He paints this vivid scene. Once upon a time, at the foot of a certain mountain, there were two unlikely friends living together in a single cave.
Okay.
A lion and a tiger.
It is a great setup. Two apex predators, creatures of immense power and pride, cohabitating in a confined space.
It sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And living nearby, at the foot of that same hill, is the Bodhisattva, the future Buddha, living as a hermit ascetic.
His presence nearby acts as an anchor. He represents objective truth sitting right on the edge of the animal's subjective chaos.
Right. And sure enough, a dispute arises between the lion and the tiger. And it is the exact same argument.
Of course it is.
The tiger insists that cold is caused by the dark half of the month. The lion insists it is caused by the light half.
The exact same binary.
The exact same blind spots, just wearing different physical forms.
Which perfectly illustrates that the ego operates the exact same way regardless of the vessel. Whether they are monks in a forest or predators in a cave, the trap of the mind is identical.
Yeah, that's wild. So realizing they're going to tear each other apart if they don't settle it, the animals take their unresolvable debate to the ascetic.
They need a ruling.
Right. They present their cases. And the ascetic doesn't declare a winner. He utters a very specific stanza to make peace. Let me read the exact lines here.
Elise.
He says, "In light or dark half, whensoe'er the wind doth blow, 'tis cold. For cold is caused by wind, and therefore I decide you both are right."
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the philosophical weight of that ruling is staggering when you break it down.
Wait, I need to push back on this a little bit.
Okay, go for it.
On the surface, if he just looks at them and says, I decide you both are right, doesn't that just validate their ignorance?
Ah, I see what you mean.
Like, it feels like a managerial cop-out to avoid making anyone mad, just HR stepping in and saying you're both right.
Well, it would be a cop-out if you were compromising on their terms.
Okay.
Like if he said, well, maybe it's cold in the middle of the month.
Right, splitting the difference.
But that isn't what he does. What's fascinating here is that he validates their experience while simultaneously destroying their mechanics.
Destroying their mechanics.
Yes. The tiger really did feel cold, and the lion really did feel cold.
Yeah.
He doesn't gaslight them or tell them they aren't suffering.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
But he shifts their focus entirely away from the correlation, the phase of the moon, and points them directly to the actual physical root cause, the wind.
Oh. He introduces a third variable that neither of them had the capacity to see.
Precisely. By naming the wind, he shows them that the chill wasn't caused by the calendar they were obsessing over. It was an unseen atmospheric condition passing through their cave.
Man, if we pull this into a modern context, a high-stakes equivalent of this happens in business all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine two massive corporate departments, let's say sales and engineering, going to war over a failing product.
A classic rivalry.
Right. Sales claims the product is failing because engineering takes too long to push updates. That is their dark half of the month. Engineering claims it is failing because sales overpromises features to clients. That is their light half.
They are at each other's throats.
Exactly. Then a consultant comes in and says, actually, the global market for this product completely evaporated 6 months ago. That is the wind.
That is a perfect modern parallel. Both departments were experiencing the real pain of failure.
Yeah, they were really hurting.
And both departments correlated that pain to the actions of the other. But the actual mechanism causing the chill was an invisible external force they were entirely ignoring because they were too busy fighting.
Wow. Which brings us back to the conclusion of the deep dive, returning to the present day.
Right, back to the monks.
Yes. The master finishes telling the story of the lion and the tiger to Elder Dark and Elder Light. The text then says the master preaches the four truths, and as a result, both monks win the fruit of the first path.
A very profound moment.
It is, but I want to pause here because we are hitting some heavy terminology.
Sure, let's break it down.
Can you give me an ELI 5, explain it like I'm 5, on what the four truths are and what winning the fruit of the first path actually means for these guys?
Absolutely. The Four Noble Truths are the core of Buddhist philosophy, and they operate almost like a medical diagnosis.
A diagnosis, okay.
First, there is the symptom. Suffering exists. In this case, the frustration of their argument.
Right.
Second, there is the cause. Suffering arises from craving and ignorance. They were ignorant of the real cause of the cold, grasping onto their own egos.
Thinking they knew better.
Exactly. Third, the prognosis. Suffering can be stopped by removing that ignorance. And fourth, the treatment, the path to actually achieve that clarity.
So by showing them the wind, the Buddha is essentially walking them through that exact medical chart.
Exactly. He shows them that their suffering, their endless bickering, was caused by their ignorance of the true mechanisms of reality.
That makes so much sense.
And when the text says they won the fruit of the first path, it means they became what is called a stream enterer.
A stream enterer, that's an interesting phrase.
Yes. It means they have officially broken the first fetters of illusion. They are no longer bound by the binary trap.
Yeah.
They have entered the stream that leads inevitably to full enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
They finally saw the code of the matrix, so to speak, and realized they don't need to argue about the moon ever again.
They finally learn the lesson so they don't have to repeat the class in the next life.
Precisely.
And to seal it, the Buddha delivers the grand identification, which is the traditional ending of a Jataka tale.
The big reveal.
Yeah. He tells them, Dark was the tiger of those days, Light the lion, and I myself the ascetic who answered the question.
The cycle is completed, the fog is pierced, and the pattern is broken.
So what does this all mean for us today? I mean, we aren't ancient monks and we aren't tigers in a cave, but we certainly argue.
This raises an important question for the listener. How do we apply this wind principle in our own messy day-to-day lives?
Right. When we get into it with our partners or our colleagues over our own versions of light versus dark, how do we step back and find that invisible wind?
It requires a profound pause. When you find yourself in an intractable dispute where both sides are just digging your heels in, you have to ask yourself, are we arguing about the root cause, or are we arguing about the symptoms?
The symptoms.
Yeah. If you and your partner are having a massive fight over who didn't do the dishes, are you really fighting about the ceramics in the sink?
Usually not.
Right. Or is there an unseen wind of feeling unappreciated or overwhelmed by work that is actually dropping the emotional temperature in the room?
Wait, I have to play devil's advocate here again.
Okay, let's hear it.
If my partner doesn't do the dishes and I just blame the invisible wind of them feeling stressed or unappreciated, aren't I just letting them off the hook?
I see where you're going.
Like, doesn't the kitchen just stay messy if we constantly blame the atmosphere?
That is a crucial distinction. Seeing the wind is not about avoiding accountability. It is about solving the actual problem so that the dishes finally get done.
Okay, explain that.
If you just yell about the dishes, which is the symptom, your partner gets defensive, the argument spirals, and nothing changes. The dishes stay dirty.
Been there.
Right. But if you identify the wind, the underlying stress or disconnect, you can address that. You can say, I decide you both are right. You are stressed, and I am frustrated by this mess.
Oh, wow.
Once you address the wind and close the window, the environment warms up, the tension diffuses, and the teamwork required to clean the kitchen naturally returns.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. You aren't ignoring the cold. You are just finally fixing the draft instead of yelling at the thermometer.
Precisely. The genius of the ascetics approach is that he doesn't say the cold doesn't matter. He just gives them the actual mechanics to understand it.
That's brilliant.
In our daily conflicts, we often feel that to find the root cause, someone has to admit their feelings were wrong. But the wind principle says your feelings of being cold are entirely valid. We just need to stop attacking each other over the calendar.
Stop attacking each other over the calendar. I love that. It means that being a true learner, someone engaging with this kind of simplified awakening, is about looking past the illusion of binary arguments.
Yeah.
It means recognizing that when two people are locked in opposition, the ultimate truth is rarely found by proving one side 100% right and the other 100% wrong.
Because it's usually neither.
Right. The truth is found by uncovering the underlying mechanism that governs them both. It is about having the humility to realize that your perspective, no matter how desperately true it feels to you, might just be a localized symptom of a much larger ecosystem.
It is the shift from being a reactor to being an observer. The lion and the tiger reacted to the cold, completely trapped by their egos.
Yeah.
The ascetic observed the wind, completely free from the argument.
The lion reacts, the observer sees the wind. We have journeyed through some incredibly deep waters today, exploring a story that has survived for millennia for one simple reason. Its diagnosis of human nature is just flawlessly accurate.
It truly is a testament to the enduring power of these ancient texts. They don't just tell us a fun story, they hold a mirror up to our modern minds and show us the exact blind spots we are still struggling to overcome today.
I want to thank you, the listener, for taking this deep dive with us. Exploring these texts is a journey, and we are so grateful you are walking this path with us here on the Simplified Awakening channel.
It's been wonderful.
Please make sure you stay hooked for the next story coming up on the channel, because we are going to keep pulling back the layers on these incredible nuggets of wisdom.
There's always more to uncover.
There always is. And as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final, lingering question to mull over on your own.
A good thing to ponder.
Think back to the fog of rebirth. Think about the idea that our most frustrating conflicts might just be the echoes of forgotten arguments we keep having because we refuse to learn the lesson. Ask yourself this. What current, stubborn belief of yours, that one hill you are absolutely willing to die on, might just be a symptom of the wind waiting for you to finally stop arguing with the weather and simply notice the breeze?